Hello there, everybody. It is Duff Designs. Welcome back. Today, I'm doing another course review. I'm looking over one of my subscribers' courses, Antiquity Bay Golf Club. Uh, let's check out our course details real quick before we hop in here. 7,300 yards, firm, and medium fast. We'll see how that plays. This is about as high as I would recommend having anything as medium fast. If you go to fast, you gotta have basically flat greens for it to be playable. Alright, let me make sure I'm on the back tees and everything. Pin set 1. Glad to see we got 4 tees and 4 pin sets. It's always a good thing to have. Alright, let's hop in here and check out the course. Let's start off just by flying around a little bit and kind of checking out, seeing what we got. Also, I did want to just say I have just moved locations for my job, and I'm working 60 or so hours a week, so content is going to stay as slow as it is at the moment. Probably be putting out a couple videos a month, maybe 3 or 4, and that's probably about the best as I can do for now. Sorry about that, but I will get back around to keeping the channel updated 24/7 sometime. It's just this year is not going to be the year. I'm positioned at a golf course that we're doing a project on. Complete reconstruction. It's going to take a full year, so it's going to be a lot of hours, a lot of working, and won't really have much free time to do any designing of my own. Alright, let's take a quick look around here. Very cool little atmosphere. Reminds me of kind of things like Greek architecture, I think, with these big old stone pillars and stuff. Got one kind of course side here. See if I have tennis courts in it or something. Just like some little seating area. Curious to see what you used right here for the tops of these. What object that was. Yeah, going around, it looks like a pretty nice little course. We have quite a few rock features. I think this was the fellow we saw on the little starting picture. Now, as someone who's tried to do rock work before, doing anything like this is pretty impressive. It's very difficult to do. One thing I will say that I've learned from, I'd say this is phenomenal. Like this looks really good. It's about as good as you can do. I would recommend though not using the same rock multiple times. I've made that mistake before, and it can look a little cheesy sometimes. Just using different rocks just makes it a little bit better. But great work on this. All right, zoom out a little bit here. Come back into the course. Sorry, it's really hard to navigate on PC because I have to use the arrow controls. Ooh, looks like we have almost like a little coliseum down here on one of the par threes. This, in terms of decoration and everything around it, is a little bit fantasy-esque, but I wouldn't exactly categorize it in fantasy. We'll kind of see how the course plays, but the course seems pretty realistic in terms of playability and everything. Doesn't really seem super crazy out of the box. Alright, let's get down here to the first hole and start on the course. Alright, we got our little tee boxes kind of scattered around. Let's take a look at our little hole map real quick. Yeah, good little first hole here. Nothing really crazy. Bunkering looks good from the tee. I like that you can see them and the greens kind of perched on top of those bunkers. Great little visual thing. But that's one of the biggest things that people kind of forget about for tee boxes is you want to have good visuals like this, kind of have bunkers that you have to see over that kind of show the green, or just little tricks on the eye to make bunkers look closer than they are or further than they are, or feel like there's more. I mean, that's the whole purpose of the tee, is to play with the mind by using the eye. Alright, let's see. We do have one hidden bunker in the back. I've never been a fan of hidden anythings really. For me personally, I would have bumped this up a little bit just to make it more visible. But very nice, big flat green. We do have a roll-off area down in the fairway, which I do like. Big old kind of false front up here that's not really going to hold anything. Overall, not really that bad of a green. I mean, it's a little basic, but it's definitely not too basic. Still got movement going on everywhere, which that's the problem I find when people try to make smoother or flatter greens, they end up making them too flat, and then it becomes very, very boring. This green still has enough contour going on to where it is an interesting little play. Oof. A little bit off there. I don't like how this is sitting on a double break like this, though. I would recommend when you place a hole, place it like right here so everything's moving one way. See kind of where we are, we got breaks going this way and this way. It can create some weird double break situations by the hole, which are more or less just frustrating to the player and they don't really add anything to the experience. Do you like your little walking paths? The walking paths are nice. I believe you just use the remove heavy rough tool to do that. Yeah, they're nice little walking paths. It's a lot easier than doing actual cart path itself, because cart path can be quite a bitch sometimes. I like the little waterfalls. Waterfalls are really nice. Yeah, they look good. Say the splashing might be a little bit too much down here, but that's just nitpicking. I do like your bunker creations. They are very close to what I would do. My backs would typically be a little bit more raised than this, but I do like the curves and how you've got the bottoms real flat and nice, and then you got the angled walls to kind of bring the balls back in. This bunker is a little bit off. I would say you probably want this bottom to be the same height as the middle right here. Like you want to lower this middle part so it's a smooth transition between both sides. Because you see how it's just like there's a big hole right here, big hole right here, and then there's like a raised portion in a bunker right here, which is something you just never see in real life. You'd never see a bunker like that. In terms of the green, not my favorite green in the world. Definitely serves its purpose, but I just don't really like this little in cove right here. I feel like it's a little bit awkward with the movement that's going on. It takes a literal perfect shot to land right here, but it's definitely not a bad green by any circumstances. Good little shot there. There we go. Alright, moving on to the third. Let's see what we got here. I like this. I like when you have more stuff in the frame. I think it's something I heard from Arctic Fury. You got all this screen space to use. You might as well have something in it when you're on the tee box. Like when you just have, say, this right side, like there's really nothing to look at over here. There's a little bit here, but you get this whole left side of the screen that's filled up with stuff. That's kind of what you want to have, but on both sides of the screen. You want to have stuff to look at for the player. Again, I really do like your bunkers. Kind of how deep they are and how raised the walls are. I do like that. Mixed with the shadows from the lighting angle. That's something a lot of people forget about. If your sun is at the right angle, you can get really nice, beautiful shadows in deeper bunkers like this. That is a good little hole. I like this little crossover. And you got like this little catch area to stop balls short. It's a nice little par 5. My worry is that it's a little too short. Let's see what happens when I go over here, though. Oh, what a bounce. It's not really too short. It's definitely very gettable. It's nice that you have at least a perched green to give it some sort of defense. It is a very easy par 5, though. Really, all you got to do is hit the fairway. Which I did not do. Let's see, 50% is probably not getting me there. I don't know. I'll just take this instead. Yeah, I wasn't getting there from the heavy rough. Any of those clubs. Your bunkers are very nice. So far, I will say not a huge fan of the greens. They definitely serve their purpose as greens, and they have tiers and sort of concepts to them, but it doesn't feel like they really match. I don't know, something just feels off about the greens. Just kind of feels like you just kind of place tiers here, there, wherever it kind of seemed to fit, but doesn't really flow too well with the play. We'll see how the greens are as we keep going, but at the moment I'm kind of indifferent about them. Alright, this might be a case of just too many bunkers here. I mean, it's not terrible, but you also have so many bunkers right here, all short, feeling like the landing area should probably be right here, but your landing area is really up here. And if I overpower this or even have a little bit of wind in my back, or if I'm using the, I forgot what archetype it is, but the one that lets you hit it further, I would just fly over this every time. Like, these bunkers don't even come into play if you hit it over this. And it's not even too big of a punish to go for it because, hell, the fairway is so much larger here than it is back here. I mean, this is so much shorter. Oh, not if you do that, though. Yeah, but generally, I kind of follow the rule, like, if you don't need the bunker there for some reason, I would probably take it out. Like, whether you are using that bunker for looks or for, like, strategic play, that's the only reasons why I would have bunkers there. One thing, too, at least that I try to keep in mind is I want to be designing real courses at some point, and I have to keep in mind that bunkers can be very, very expensive to maintain. They can be some of the most expensive things on the golf course besides the green. And I'm making a mockery of this hole. I was not meant to be in those bunkers over there. Yes, John, I know I'm in the rough. Alright.
Let's just drop one shot on this hole. This one's for both.
Ooh.
Just 4 feet left on
Smooth
this
little
one.
double.
Oh, that'll do just.
Also, I want to mention, too, that when I am playing for these design, like, videos, I'm really not playing seriously, like, at all. I'm just I'm paying more attention to the design and the look of the hole, and playing the hole is more of just a way of getting me around the course so I can look at each hole instead of actually going for anything. I don't think I've really tried for any good scores in any of these videos yet, but besides that, looking at this green right here, I actually really like this green. There's very basic, which we've seen a lot of basic internal contours in some of these other greens. There's not really a whole bunch going on, but it's enough to keep it interesting. Which I guess you kind of need on the green speed you're using with the medium fast. I will say I really do like this little concept right here. I just don't know if the ball is actually going to go all the way down. I'm sure you've tested it, but as long as the ball gets all the way to the bunker, that's a good little idea right there to have that. Yeah, really not much I can complain about this hole. Would have maybe added a little bit more decoration up here, just to kind of decorate that hillside, but other than that, nice little hole.
Well, this one could play. That's a safe shot. 1 under par if you can sink this. Oh, well.
Underpowered it just a little. That was just enough. Just enough.
Okay, wind's blowing on this one.
There's our little man up there. I'm curious as to why you faced him in this direction. I was curious if this is the hole right here, why wouldn't you have had them looking towards the tee? I don't know, maybe there's a reason for that, but I feel like looking towards the tee would have been pretty cool. I don't really think you needed this little cutout right here. I feel like it's kind of more of a surprise to the player, whereas visually you see how nice this looks and then how nice this looks, but when you start to raise it up, you get this weird, almost little tumor on this bunker. I guess it's not terrible, but just a little nitpick again. There really isn't much for me to complain about on this course. I mean, it's a pretty well-built golf course, other than just kind of picking out little things that I wouldn't have done. So, I mean, it's a very well-built golf course. You can tell a lot of time has gone into this. We'll say this is our second tee shot that we've just flown over the bunkers from the tee, and I know I don't even have the longest hitting clubs. Kind of a odd shape down here. Just kind of looks a little jagged. Just a little bit. Again, I'm not a big fan of the hidden bunkers, but I think this one's excusable because it is saving the player from going all the way off. I wouldn't have recommended having fence right here, but I understand why you do. I would have started your fence probably over here somewhere just so it'd keep the visual of this out of the way. Because when I'm looking at the green, I can't even really see the bunker, which should be visible from the fairway, but I can't see it because of the fence. I hope that gets there. Oh yeah, what a shot.
Good stuff. All right, nice 3-footer to deal with. And you're 1 under.
Alright, on to 7. Really beautiful hole right here. Love the position of the sun with this little Coliseum thing in the background. Love all the little rolls in the fairway. I don't think we've seen a lot of fairway movement at all today, and I wish we would have. This always makes your holes a lot more interesting, where when you just have flat fairways, it can be very boring, which I like the movement you put. I just don't really like that there's really none down here. I mean, you got a little bit right here, but it's not really a lot. It is a drivable hole, though. Cool concept for a bunker over here. Don't think it came out the best, but it's a cool idea for sure. And it's just something about the jaggedness of the edges along with the weird height of this and the low height of this. Just need some more uniformity. I like this bunker right here. It's a nice little one. You see how you got these smooth edges on almost all your bunkers, and the lips are almost all the same height. You just need those smooth edges on this bunker and the lips at the same height on this one as well. I think that would make this bunker a lot more pleasing to the eye. Oh, the wind has to be straight at us, doesn't it? That's in the sand. It's always nice to have a drivable par 4 on every course. No, drivable par 4s are always determined on the weather of the day. Like I had this wind on my face, so I couldn't really make it there. Yet again, just another green that, like, while I get the concept of it and everything, it seems just a little bit too bland. Like, there's really not a whole bunch going on. I mean, you got this one big movement to carry balls back here from the drive. And that's about it. I mean, it's weird because you do technically have a lot of movement in the greens. It's just it doesn't feel like the movement is really there or doing much of anything. Like, I mean, this is going to affect a shot from far out, but it just doesn't feel that interesting to the player. And that's the big thing, is this is a video game, and as cool as it is to design stuff realistic, people don't really care. People will remember the really interesting greens, the really interesting fairways. People aren't going to remember the green that's realistic. It plays well in real life, but who cares? It's not that cool of a green. Which is something I've had to come with terms with when designing, is that people just don't really, they don't care about basic realistic greens. They want the interesting ones that are still fair and playable. Alright, on here to 8. I don't like this. I just don't. It looks way too jagged going this way, that way, back and forth. Maybe if you made the lines a little straighter, this would have came out better. It just looks way too jagged. And I don't really think you needed it there, to be honest. And also, just the switch of fences is kind of odd. Like, if you were gonna do your cliffside fences as this white fence, why would you switch over to the stone fence all of a sudden in the middle of the hole? It's just kind of keeping the uniformity together. Looks like you were thinking about putting a bunker there. As far as not too bad, got a little bit of movement, not a lot. Very safe hole, really not a whole bunch of trouble here for it being along the cliffside. I do like the fairway movement. It's not a lot, but it's just enough to kind of make you think a bit. Got a deep little circle bunker here. Very basic green for a par 5. Really not a lot going on. Don't really enjoy this. It just feels like there's too much red for the tiny little area we've got over here. Feels like there's way too much going on over here. I don't really like this either. You have like a mound kind of guarding into a bowl. I don't know. For me personally, the screen's too big, too much movement going on some parts, and there just really doesn't seem any rhyme or reason, which has kind of been the flaw of these greens so far on this course. There's no rhyme or reason to the greens. They just kind of have the movements wherever they would fit, and they have flat areas wherever it would fit. Like, I would recommend looking at some professional green designs. Uh, just go and look at some of the best courses in the world, like the National, Bell Hollow, stuff like that. Just any top tier courses, and look at the ideas they have for their greens. They have Uritzes and certain little swells and certain little knolls in places for reasons. They have certain shapes of greens that fit certain setups for internal contours. A lot of times when you are starting to learn design, you kind of just place a green down and make this area flat, make this area flat, make this area flat, and then kind of make stuff work in between. But when you have really good rhyme or reason to why your slopes are here, why is this moving this way, why is this knoll in the front of the green, it makes the greens feel so much better to play. Like, there really isn't any rhyme or reason here. I mean, there's nothing really guarding anything. It just doesn't feel like a real golf green. Just kind of feels like a video game thrown together.
Went right by. This one for the birdie. 1 under.
All right, moving on to 9. Got a little bit of a tree
Breeze on this hole.
blocking us out a little bit down that left side. What was that I saw? I thought I saw it. Got some long grass in the fairway right there. I won't miss that. It's just one of those playtesting things. The more you stare at the holes, the more you'll notice little stuff like that. Which, after staring at a course for however long, probably like 30, 40 hours to build one of these things, you do get a little blind to some of the issues. Again, fairway's really flat. I feel like we kind of see this thing here where either you have bunkers in the fairway kind of guarding where the ball lands and it being really, really flat, or you have a basically open fairway with movement in it. I would definitely recommend having what you have here along with movement to kind of have the best of both worlds. If you had like a slope right here to kind of kick people to the left or kick people down this way, maybe a slope up here doing something, maybe another one back here kind of moving balls around. It's just having that movement in your fairways makes it so much more interesting to play. Oh, holy that was a big bush in the fairway back there. Hold up.
Are about 40 yards out.
Yeah, that is a big bush in the fairway right there. That's a very easy mistake to get rid of. Just make sure you double check your holes as you're going by. You definitely didn't double check this one, as that's the second plant in the fairway. Checking our greens here. Just a little thing. You see how you've got a second cut of rough right here and then fairway right here. Then your second cut on your green is fringe. You need to continue this light rough all the way around the edge. I would recommend just doing it by spline. It can be a little hard to do to get the size exact, to get it like the same width, but you can manually place it along one of these lines and then adjust the spline width to kind of get it to where it matches is better, because it can be a little bit odd when you roll off the fairway here and then you're in light rough, and then if you roll off the fringe here, you're just immediately in heavy rough. It can just be a little weird sometimes. Nice little parking lot. Looks like this is your clubhouse area. I think this is your clubhouse. Again, if this is your clubhouse, this is one of those things where you're just using too many building types. You need to kind of use one or two types of building that look similar to each other. You've got cart barn here, tiny clubhouse here, two little patios, another clubhouse, I think. I think this is like a townhouse or a city thing right here, both of these. And another clubhouse. I don't even know what building this is. And then I think this is the same as this or slightly different variation. Yeah, just try to keep it down to a minimal couple types of buildings. It's got too many different types here. It looks like a hodgepodge. It's definitely not bad though. If you would have used the same type of building, this is a good area. I do like all the little decorations you have out here, all the little plants. You don't need a lot of decoration on clubhouses. You need about this amount that you have right here, but I would have recommended doing it all the way around. You just kind of got some empty spaces in here. I understand you may have ran out of objects at some point because you also don't have any cars in your parking lot, which if you have the objects, always add just a couple cars in there. If you don't worry about it though. It's the first thing I'll delete from my course if I am running out of memory. Again, we just have another green that just doesn't really have a whole lot going on, a whole lot interesting. It's just kind of another fairly flat green. I mean, I just have not really been impressed with the greens so far out here. They're not bad by any means. They're good greens. It's just they're not great greens. Like, I've played on some bad greens before. I know what bad greens are. These aren't bad. It's just they need some more rhyme or reason going on to them. I feel like the rest of the course stands up pretty damn well. It's just the greens need that little bit of extra pizzazz in them. Like, I mean, your environment is beautiful. This is creating something like this with all these rocks, all this cliff. This takes a lot of time, a lot of effort, and a lot of just sitting here staring at this, trying to figure out what looks best. It's definitely not easy. And I mean, your hole designs aren't bad. You seem to use the same slap a bunker right near where the ball's going to land trick almost every time, which can be a little bit bad because it's a little bit too repetitive and it's very easy to beat, but it's definitely not the worst thing to have. It's a very easy way to create and design holes. Again, though, we are going to have the same problem where this is where I'm landing, and this is where your bottleneck is. You want to have your bottleneck where your longest drivers are going to land. It's just another one of those things where, like, why even have the bunker there if your guys are just going to fly over it most of the time? This is a really short par 5, and I feel like we have another issue where the green's just too big. There's not really a lot going on. On shorter par 5s, short par 4s, and some short par 3s, your greens need to be challenging. Since this is a really short par 5, I can get on this green pretty damn easy in 2. And then I don't really have a lot to contend with my putts, so realistically, this is a very easy birdie, if not an eagle. Just on these shorter holes, you want to have the pin be guarded, / the entire green be guarded by something. I understand you get the lake here, but in terms of video game golf, the lake and a couple bunkers are not enough. Real life, this is probably decent enough defense for this this hole to make it justifiable. But the video game where everybody's hitting everything in a little 5-yard circle, 10-yard circle is just not enough.
All right, still 2 under after that one. Here comes the 11th hole.
Check. Still good. Alright. Design here. Green design's not bad. Definitely don't prefer it though. A little too flat right here. You see how this has got almost no movement in it, and it's kind of a little bit going this way, a little bit going this way, a little bit here, a little bit there. This can create some phantom breaks, which you just don't want in your greens. When the ball breaks, when it doesn't look like it's going to break, or vice versa. I don't mind all this little roll-off stuff right here. I just wish you would have brought the flat area out just a little bit further. Probably would have been better. In terms of the whole green, though, this is pretty good. This right here is exactly what I was talking about with the light rough. You got the light rough running around the fringe. Definitely like that. I would have made this top area a little bit flatter too to kind of make it like a tier, but this green is one of the better ones. It just needs a little bit of tweaking here and there to make it a truly great one. I definitely do like the little bridge here along with the rocks. Definitely a nice way to little have it transition. I mean, it's a beautiful looking hole for sure. I wish these bunkers would be just a little bit more visual though, so I could see them just a little bit better. Smack it on up there.
This one will stick. Okay, second shot on the 11th.
And on out of there.
On in for you. That'll be your birdie. And just for my sake, let's take
I don't want to see it, John. I know what I did. I saw it with my own eyes.
And after that hole, you are at.
Alright, loading up to 12. So rock wall around the tee box back here. Ooh, so I think it is a nice little old river. Yeah, that's nice. It's always nice to have something like this in your course. It just adds that little bit of extra looks. I will say you definitely messed up a little bit right here. Wait. Oh, no, that's just a visual thing. If I'm zoomed out enough, I can see the water kind of poke through. That's really weird. I do have to say, though, I would have continued your heavy rough into this area because you see how your fairway just kind of cuts off. It makes it a little bit awkward looking, and it makes the shape very, very weird. Because when you have your water too close to a fairway, it cuts into it and does this weird little crap, which I hate. So you definitely have to have your fairway a little bit further away from this. Good here. Nice little bunker. I really don't mind this. I would have probably kept the heavier grass kind of up a little more or out of it entirely. But not a bad bunker. This one's getting a little bit wacky up here, a little bit too much height difference on the bunker, but I still think it's okay. Nice little valley right there, a little gorge.
Nice swing on that.
It's nice to have a hole where you're not meant to hit a driver for once. Oh yeah, this is what I've been looking for on the par 5. Something challenging for your second shot. So far, all the par 5s have been very easy second shots. We finally have one that's has some difficulty to it. And in terms of our layup area is very forgiving, except for the one tree next to the bunker. You land in that bunker, you were screwed. But I'm gonna go ahead and go for it because why not? We hit a pretty good shot too. Like the little sunken ship we got out here. Again though, as cool as this hole is, I still think the green is just kind of lacking. I mean, you kind of just have a bowl here, kind of a bowl here. There's really not a lot of movement going on. I mean, there's a lot of movement going on, but it's not like purposeful movement. And other than the little catch in the back, I really don't think you needed any of this right in here. You could have had this be completely different. I probably would have, see, if I would have done this green, probably would have had a top tier right here, all the way back here, and then a lower tier right here to have a little funnel to feed people back around this bunker to get over here. Maybe a little drop down right here, like a lower tier. Yeah, something kind of more along those lines. I just feel like the rhyme or reason on a lot of these greens just isn't there. Which that could just be a personal thing. Other people could think it's just fine. Everything in this game is very subjective. You'll have one person who absolutely loves a hole and the next person who thinks it's the worst hole in all of golf. I don't mind this actually. I just wish it was a little lower because I feel like if your ball gets up against this, you're kind of just screwed. But I don't really mind it. I like the little bunker we got down here. Nice little touch, reachable. Maybe on a good day, not for me. Enjoy this little area too. This is a nice little section of the course. I just like this little tee box chill area over here. I really do like this style of bunker. I wish you would have done this style, having all these curves, little fingers, ups, downs. I wish you would have done this all over the course instead of having a lot of these smaller circular bunkers. I feel like these are okay. I just feel like I've seen too many of them and they're just a little too boring slash basic. Like I feel like another bunker like this up here would have done this hole very nice. Kind of tightened that little funnel up even more. Oh,
Those shots are going to happen to you.
funny little spot.
All right, here's our second shot on the
I don't like runoffs if runoffs are just taking you into heavy rough. It's kind of never really been something I've enjoyed. Also, I have a tutorial on how to get bunkers to run all the way down to the water's edge. It's called Bleeding Bunkers. I think it's on my pro course. I would definitely check that out. It allows the sand to go all the way into the water, so you will be able to fill this little gap right here that is just ground. This will all be sand. Just a little bitty thing that just makes courses look better. Let's see if we did okay. Yeah, how much I'm doing to stop that.
This could take you to 5 under.
Again, I mean, green just don't really have much, in my opinion. I mean, they have movement, but it's like, why is it actually there? What's it actually doing? I don't know. Maybe I'm just being too hateful, but
All right, let's head to the next. Teeing off now, long par 4.
again, you've had so many of these really smooth-sided bunkers. I don't know why you would all of a sudden throw in a really jagged one. I would just stay with the smooth look. You're doing really well with the smooth look. The jagged is just not the go. Yeah, I find jagged very, very hard to do in this game in the first place. And you're doing the smooth bunkers plenty fine enough, so you could probably just continue with those. I do like the little go for the trees angle here. Get a larger layup area with a bunker kind of cutting you off. Yeah, nice hole, big risk reward. Really like the tee shot here. Instead of having all this just be rock and crap, I would have enjoyed some water right here, just a little bit in the middle or something. Because I'm sure in real life that area is gathering up some water over time.
We've got about 120 yards.
I really do like the circular bunker right here in front of the green. Very nice eye catch. Big old bowl. I don't mind the green. I was looking at the contours from the air. It's
We're on the green.
definitely not
And here we have a
bad.
16-foot putt.
I don't know. This area needs to be redone over here. There's just way too much going on to have anything over here at all. Like if you're gonna have this much going on and you're not gonna have a pin over here, why even have this little section of the green? You know. Oh,
5-foot putt coming up. All right, the putter dropping in there at the car. Good stuff. And team this one up on
very
the 15th
cool
hole.
little idea right here. I hate to like be rude, but I don't think it looks the best. Like these little steps, I feel like the steps are a little too big and these kind of look a little too jagged using the rocks, but I really don't know what objects you had to work with or anything like that. It's definitely not bad by any means. It definitely looks really cool. Just I feel like it could have been done just a little bit better to make it go that extra mile. The green, I have to say this is probably the worst green on the course. There's this little tiny zone here that, I mean, I understand why you might have it here, but it's just way too small, way too tiny of an area. Same thing with this back section. The green shape is just insane. You have this little hump here that, I don't know, the green contours, again, just don't make much sense at all. I mean, you get a huge little off. I don't know, I just don't really enjoy the green shape that much. I really do like the bunker you did right here. I like the shape of this a lot. This one, not so much. Seems a little bit too much fat in the middle of it. You could have had some more cuts ins and outs like this one. Bunker is definitely really nice. I like the grass and stuff used as well.
There
actually don't know how I turned all the little stuff off. There it is. The little lines and stuff disappeared. I know it's a small thing to say, but the hole's 15. That feels like a 16 or 17 to me instead of a 15. Tiny little thing. Don't really think it matters, but the hole just feels like a 16 or 17. Again, another really long par 5. I wish I could see this bunker right here. The bunker just to the right. Wish you'd have made just this a little bit more visual so I could see it all. In terms of the whole tee shot area, I really don't mind it. I don't think it's the best, but I like the fairway kicking shots down into the bunker deal you got going on right here. Ooh, way left. Yeah, we're not getting a good enough kick from there. Again, I was afraid this is another one of those things where you have a par 5 that's reachable in 2 if you hit a decent tee shot. And then you have this big green that's fairly open and then nothing around the green. Like, it's just all fairway. There's no reason not to go for these greens on 2, which you need some defense on reachable par 5s. You need some sort of defense around the greens. I mean, these bunkers are okay, but they definitely are not providing enough defense to discourage anybody from hitting this 40-yard fairway right here, running a ball up on the green. Now, I'm not going to be able to do it because I'm in the heavy rough, but as long as you hit the fairway here, I see no reason to not go for this hole. Little lucky rock bounce. Thank you, John.
Wow, amazing. Okay, score is currently clocking in at 6 under par.
All right, 17. Get a little blind tee shot. Don't mind it. Fairway is kind of, I don't really like how this little section's here. A little too bland. I would have maybe added like one bunker on one side to just add a little bit of something. But
nice, that's some solid.
Not a bad fairway, just not a great one. I do like how once you get over the hill, everything runs down, so you really have to think about where you're going to land your shot.
And we're about
I was afraid about this. All of this right here is just a little bit too high. It's kind of blocking my view of the green. If I know it's a shit ton of work, but if all that was just lower, it'd be better. I really don't like this right here. It seems kind of pointless to have a bunker right here. It's so impossible to see. If you landed in this, you would have been surprised this year. I feel like anybody would have. In terms of the green, bad little green. Again, not really a lot going on here. I mean, there's some movement. This is definitely one of the flattest greens in the course, but really no rhyme or reason or anything as we've been talking about. Terrible shot. Might be on the tee box.
For our third shot.
It's gonna be short.
Setting up for your fourth stroke here.
Oh yeah.
Ooh, that one just dunked on in there. Nicely.
Oh yeah.
Well, that's worth taking another look at.
I don't want to see my shot again.
Sitting at 6 under par after that one.
Alright, finally coming down to 18 here. What's a random little plant right there? I just saw this. This kind of seems out of place. That's one thing too, like, I understand it may take some time, but manicuring stuff like this, I know it is out of the way. I'm not straight up seeing it, but manicuring all this goes a mile when people are actually looking at playing and enjoying your course. Like, you just have these random little plants. They just kind of have no rhyme or reason to them that are just kind of sitting in places. Like, if you're going to have plants, you see how you got this bushy section? This is how stuff off course needs to look. It needs to be there. It needs to look like it's intentional. When you have a random plant here, a random plant here, a random plant here, it looks unprofessional, and it just kind of, it just looks dirty. Like, it looks like your course is never cleaned up. It looks like there's just crap all over the place. Like, I mean, just looking at it right here, like, there's just random little bitty plants. And we've kind of seen this on every hole, and this is something that a lot of new designers just kind of forget about. Something that I personally forgot about, I think it was as soon as like 2 years ago. I was still forgetting about cleaning up stuff like this. I just left it on my course because I was just designing the course and focus on the meat and potatoes of it, not all the little tiny crap on the side. But it's definitely something you need to pay attention to if you do want to become a great designer. You need to be able to get rid of all that type of stuff. Definitely want to go this way, but you could definitely take it out if you needed to. I do really like this. It kind of entices a draw into this fairway so you can get a little bit of a straighter run. I don't really like the fairway runs right here. Personally, I would have had some more curve in it to kind of go around this, come back up, but maybe you did that and saw that this was better looking.
Oh, you hit that one well.
Again, fairways are a little flat. Anytime that we are contending with bunkers, you usually tend to have flat fairways in those circumstances, which I would definitely try to add some movement onto these things.
All right, good luck with your second shot.
I do like the big false front here because it makes this whole green very visible. In terms of playability, I think it's not bad either because you do have a lot of ground back here. I don't really like this tier here. It just kind of seems random. I would have bumped this tier back a little more. You see how you got this fall off right here? I would have brought this fall off all the way off the edge of the green to have all of this be flat area, because this is just useless area on your green right here. There's no pin, there's no really reason to have any of this. In terms of all this is a little tight right here for a pin, but I think it's okay. I think if you bump this tier back and then give this room to this front tier, this would be a great little 2-tier green. That's well short.
Well, unfortunately,
Nice little roll into the bunker.
Setting up
Didn't
here
quite
for
get
your
it there.
fourth. I'm liking that one. Nice chip.
No, but
Drop on in for bogey.
overall the course is really good. Your decoration was
5 under for you.
very nice. I give it like an 8 out of 10. As long as you would start to clean up after yourself on some of these areas, like just cleaning up all those little bushes and stuff, I think that would be perfect. Your greens just kind of need some more rhyme or reason to them. Look at some great greens by some great designers and kind of see what they do and why they do it. It's just your tiers and your slopes just kind of seem random, and it seems like you kind of came in there with the flatten tool / the raise tool and just kind of put them wherever just kind of felt like it fit. But whatever feels like fits usually isn't the thing that best plays from the hole. So just look, I would say out of everything out here, your greens are probably the thing that just needs the most work. You just need to focus on that. I think if you focused on your greens and really got those up to an A+ tier, this would be a phenomenal course. Other than that, your bunkers were great. There was only like 1 or 2 bunkers that I had any issues with at all. And I mean, it's hard to make 50, 60 bunkers all look really, really good. It's just, it can be difficult sometimes. Your fairways, I liked your fairways for the most part. I really did like your fairways that had movement in them. I would bring that movement on those fairways over to the other holes that are a little flatter. I would say if all your fairways had those same movement as some of those holes, it would be amazing. It would be so much fun to play every time. Other than that, I had no issues with the tee boxes, no issues with the decorations. I mean, it overall was a very, very nice course, and I believe you said you took a year on this one. I think that's the course I'm doing right now. I mean, really, it was a great course. Other than that, guys, I really don't have anything else to say. I don't know the next time I'll be able to get out another video. It's just gonna be random for me for the next while. I do have like 6 courses in my video catalog that I've got to do, so I do have plenty of content on the way. It's just a matter of time. Other than that, thank you guys for watching. I hope you guys enjoyed the video, and I'll see you guys next time. Bye.